YouTube. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming through to this video. I really appreciate the support. Obviously, please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Please stick with me as we go through what is going to be a pretty serious topic. So here we go.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
So pretty much anybody with an internet connection knows what's been going on with Kanye over the last few weeks, from the Twitter rants and attacks against Kim and Chris to the presidential rallies and campaigns, the quotes about Harriet Tubman. All of this is not new information. What really matters is how all of this information intersects between the Kanye we know, the artist and musician and celebrity, as well as the Kanye who we know is suffering from mental health problems. So Kanye is a genius. Kanye has created some of the most iconic and impactful music albums of this generation. He's been one of the vanguard artists of our time. He's literally reshaped music as we know it. All of this is completely true. Aware, sharp. Kanye is also a very controversial person. He's a person that tends to have fights with people. He tends to cause scenes in a lot of different situations. He fights with paparazzi. He storms award stages. He's very rude to people on Twitter. Multiple times he's had tours with people. He disrespects friends and family alike. All of this is also... This Kanye situation is also allowing us as a society to actually question our understanding of mental health, as well as the stigma surrounding the more severe forms of mental illness. When you talk about things like schizophrenia, hallucinations, even suicidal tendencies and mania, this is what the situation is allowing us to highlight. It can't be denied that by virtue of who he is, the fact that he's a celebrity on the global stage, as well as considered a very influential person in the world, that Kanye's actions, whether or not they're directly attributable to himself or his mental illness, will have an outsized effect on the world, to the extent that people genuinely question that him running for president may actually end up splitting the black vote, which may or may not cost Biden an election, but it still does matter. His actions do matter. Kim Kardashian, for the most part, has explained how nuanced the situation is, because outside of committing someone via conservatorship, you literally cannot stop someone, especially of Kanye's profile, from being able to engage with the outside world and living their lives. He's young enough that he can't be put under conservatorship, and he's cognizant enough and not harmful enough to be considered a danger to others, so they can't legally... I spent a few hours engaging with someone very familiar with these processes and how things work, just to understand how best we can approach the situation. They explained everything to me in these terms. Most mental illnesses, especially one like bipolar, tend to be progressive diseases, so they tend to get worse over time. So it's entirely possible that Kanye may have always been bipolar and it just gotten consistently worse. He was only diagnosed 2 years ago, but it doesn't mean that the guy who created college dropout and late registration and graduation wasn't already bipolar. It's just consistently gotten more progressive over time. And unfortunately, when it comes to attribution of characteristics, i.e. how much of the behavior that we witness and experience is Kanye himself, how much of it is the illness, we will never know. Maybe half of it is Kanye, maybe some of it is Kanye, maybe none of it is Kanye. But the fact of the matter is we'll never know until he's in a situation where he's been taking medication for a prolonged period of time, so that we can actually gauge differences in behavior outside of creative output. Society, we need to develop processes and systems that enable a person to go get themselves psychologically analyzed and diagnosed if they may be exhibiting behaviors that indicate mental issues. It doesn't have to go as far as institutionalizing people against their will, but there needs to be a mechanism in place for us to be able to give people the treatment they need. It's a lot easier to understand that someone like Kanye can go to therapy and get treatments and things of that nature, but the fact of the matter is Kanye's not the only person that experiences this. For every Kanye, there's a million people that are homeless, that may be committed to institutions, that may be on the streets suffering from these ailments, but they've never had the opportunity to get themselves treated or had their issues addressed adequately. And that's a societal failing, not an individual failing.
You could have...
What can we do in our individual capacity? Look, ultimately it's what we choose to do and how we choose to engage with people who we may know that have mental issues. You can choose to be there for them, you can choose to be there to support them and aid them in getting the help that they need, if not to get fully treated, but at least to be able to live their lives in a solid and healthy way. You just have to be willing to be there for people as best you can, and ultimately it's a choice that you have to make for yourself. So what's happening with Kanye? Nobody can really tell you. I wish I had a better answer for you. But until Kanye is willing to commit himself to actually getting proper treatment and diagnostic help, we will never actually know. His family can try their best to be there for him, but they can't make him. They've asked him, but if he doesn't want to do anything, they can't force him. So until he addresses it, we're all in the dark. The best we can do is try our best to understand these issues in general so that we can be better citizens to those around us. And that's the bottom line. Thank you so much for watching this so far, guys. I hope this educated you guys on a few things and just how things are going. I'll leave links in the description for some of the material I mentioned. Homework for this week is to watch Modern Love, the episode with Anne Hathaway, Euphoria, as well as The Soloist. Those are really, really good illustrations of people with mental health issues and how the people in their lives try their best to help them. So give it a like, give it a subscribe, and see you next time.